What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I am bringing you the finals of the store championships that happened at J&J's yesterday, Monday the 11th. So this is going to be between two fellow content creators. On the left, we will have Team Scrub Out, and on the right, we're going to have Just Digi TCG. Both of their channels are going to be linked in the description down below, so make sure you go check them out and support them. But getting on into it, on the left, Team Scrub Out is going to be playing his green control list that I did feature on the channel last week. If you go ahead and check the J&J Locals round 2, I did play him if you want to watch that match. And then on the right, we have Just Digi TCG playing the LordKnightmon that we've seen him play many times. I've featured him on the channel many times, my good friend and testing partner, and he's got a lot of content on his channel as well, so make sure you go check out his LordKnight stuff. So both players having tamers out, so no memory choke's going to happen, but we're going to see a second Mimi, so that's actually quite terrifying because you can promote the Blossomon next turn, and then you can double hatch to then get another rookie out. But we're going to build up LordKnightmon in security, so putting on the pressure of if your opponent promotes that Blossomon, it's likely going to get struck down because you can swing, play things like Knightmon, go into Slash, or you can play Valderarm. You have so much DP removal that both players are probably just going to be sitting and raising because you don't really want to raise the LordKnightmon until your opponent's going to promote their Blossomon, and you don't really want to promote your Blossomon or whatever mega you put on top of it until your opponent plays LordKnightmon, because the green deck does play things like Nidhogg, Rafflesimon, and Boncho Stingmon, all of which are going to be able to have a great comeback if that LordKnightmon does swing. So going to be a little bit of a standoff as we see both players not really messing with their security or what they're raising right now and just building on the board. They both are getting two tamers out. Now the TKs aren't as impactful after being played as the Mimis, as to where the Mimis aren't as impactful being played, so it's a trade-off there. But having two Mimis on board is going to be a lot of pressure because you're going to be able to send out so much just by having a level 5 on board. LordKnightmon's going to swing and going to play likely a Knightmon here. Yep. So swinging in, hits the Nidhogg, and it does die because it's only at 12k, so it's a very terrible swing for the LordKnight player. Gonna have to slash on top of the Knightmon so that we can clear off the Lilamon. You want the Lilamon gone because if you have Lilamon on board, then they can Digivolve on top of it, swing, and suspend your Digimon, and that can turn into things like Nidhogg or Boncho Stingmon. But we're actually going to see a Rafflesimon come out and Digiburst, which is going to shut down the Slash for just a turn and then gain the memory off of the Digiburst there. Now going to tap Mimi again, which allows the Argomon to promote, and because it came from raising, it can attack if they do choose, but going to put a Kabuterimon on top as a blocker just to try and save the Rafflesimon. But we're actually going to see a Chaosmon come out and swing over the Slash, getting a check. So now the LordKnight player is at 6 memory, which is a lot of memory to put LordKnightmon at, and normally you don't really want to do that, but the thing is you're in such a good position now because they can't promote or anything like that, so nothing on board. All the 6 memory can use promote, but it's not going to be useful until next turn. And while you're sitting right now with your giant Chaosmon with piercing, you're not really too worried about if they set up like blockers or anything like that. We will see Andromon come out. Andromon's going to give security tech -2 to the Chaosmon, so no check's going to come out from here, but if you can suspend the Andromon, you will be able to attack over it regardless. Now Lilamon's going to come out, and this can just Digiburst over the Andromon to suspend it. And now you can either choose either of the one to attack. You can attack with the Chaosmon. It just has security attack -2, so you won't get the piercing check, but either way it doesn't matter. Suspending the Lilamon is a little bit scarier in my opinion, just because you have it now to where if they go up, they can swing over the Lilamon, and having that inheritable is going to be very powerful. Now, Digivolving a lot, cards kind of overlapping a little bit, there we go, and a couple Pulsemon coming out. Gonna have to try to develop something. There is just game on board, especially with the double Mimis coming out. There's a lot to pressure. The Blinding Ray, trashing another security, playing the Starmons, giving -3 to the Lilamon there, going to swing, giving -1 with the Koromon, so it now has a -4k, putting it at 3k. So if you have another Starmons, you can go ahead and pop it, which we are going to see actually playing the Knightmon, so putting the opponent at an incredible amount of memory, which is not good considering that the state that they're in. They're going to have to hit a I believe, Spiral Masquerade to even stay in this game, but that Digisorption into the Blossomon might have just shut it down, because you would have had to hope that your opponent swung with the Chaosmon, hit the Spiral Masquerade, and then you would have been able to pop the Kabuterimon and the Lilamon. But now where we're at, the game is essentially over. Can use the Mimi now with the level 5. Digiburst. And going to go ahead and swing, and that's it, scooping up, just playing out the turn to make sure that they do have it in case something like a Spiral Masquerade or something comes out. So smart playing there. You want to make sure that you get the win. Just because you're ahead doesn't mean you're guaranteed the win. But now getting into game 2, we're going to see that Just Digi does decide to go second in this matchup to get the extra draw, make sure that you're one turn behind in this matchup. As we saw, you kind of want to stay in raising. I think what really happened in the matchup was raising first was really bad, and we're actually going to see the TK pull out the Valder Arm, so no recovery there, just taking the security check, but does have Valder Arm out, which is a lot of pressure. It's a very good card in the matchup, but taking out one of your security so early without really knowing what the board state is going to be going a few turns forward is pretty scary, because you might have put yourself on a clock. But gonna have to play through it now, giving security tech -2 here to the Andromon, once again promoting, which again I think is a little bit scary in this matchup. Promoting first is going to be a bit of a disadvantage, just because each deck wants your opponent to promote first so that they can remove the opponent's Mega or shut it down with things like Rafflesimon. And so now going into Slash is good to clear off the board, I guess, but the thing is Slash is such a weak Digimon as far as DP wise that anything can really get over it. Even a Lilamon with a Yokomon Digiburst can get over it, so gonna swing. Hitting the Knightmon, nothing there, but the Slash is going to be shut down for a turn. We do know that there is a Valder in hand for LordKnightmon here, so gonna have to play it out here to get rid of the Rafflesimon, so that way your opponent doesn't have a board. They can't promote anything and nothing on board, so once again this is a really great board state. We can see that the Valder Arm coming out has got really good plays right here, but like I said, we'll have to see how the rest of the game turns out and see if that one security does impact anything. But as of right now, LordKnightmon does have the advantage. They have board state. You obviously aren't super happy about swinging with Valder Arm with the threat of Nidhogg and Bancho Stingmon, but you're gonna have to get some checks going. Bancho Stingmon would be extremely painful here because it would just get rid of all of your checks, so we're gonna see if they do decide to swing with the Valder Arm or keep it unsuspended. Going with the Turimon and then going into the Gladimon, not hitting anything there. Did see the security earlier, so knew if there was anything in there or not, but just double checking. But Gladimon's going to come out as another champion, so can get some ultimates going on top of there, as well as the Turimon, and just going wide in general. In this matchup, you're going to have to get a lot of swings in with one turn, because with the suspending of your Digimon, you just give so much opportunity to the green player that you really just have to only Digivolve or swing when you have a good opportunity, and Nidhogg won't clear your board. But Bancho Stingmon is also a threat. We can stay a little bit less worried about that now that there's Rafflesimon out, so Bancho isn't going to be Digivolved. And then Knightmon's going to come out, which is going to pop the Argomon, so still going wide on board while limiting what your opponent can do. They can go ahead and Digiburst here, which will shut down most likely the Valder Arm from attacking, or any of the Digimon that they do choose. You could also choose the Knightmon, so that way if they go into LordKnightmon, it's not going to be able to attack. Now we see the Digiburst, the Weedmon will gain a memory, and the Yokomon will give plus 2k, plus the Digiburst 2k, so going to swing, very bulky, and with the Valder Arm shut down, you are relatively safe right now. Obviously, you're going to have to force your opponent to have LordKnightmon to get over this Rafflesimon, or something on top of this Knightmon, but most likely you're going to be wanting LordKnightmon, so that way you can continue to go wide. You want to keep going wide, you want to keep removing what your opponent has. That's how it's going to be. Like we've seen in this first game, and now probably going to see in the second game. Once you suspend your Mega, it's going to be gone, and the other person's going to clear it, which may put you behind. So we're going to have to see if Just Digi can go ahead and get rid of this Rafflesimon this turn, so that way you can prevent the possibility of something like the Chaosmon that we saw, or even just Digivolving a Rafflesimon on top of the Rafflesimon, so that way you can get multiple Digibursts and shut down multiple things. But the main point is you really need to get over this Rafflesimon. We're going to have to see some sort of Mega come out on top of this Knightmon. We see the Slash come out, which is going to target the Rafflesia. which makes it so you can just clear with the spiral here, putting your opponent at a very low amount of memory, just 4, which when you have your board cleared is not enough memory, especially when your opponent has 5 Digimon on the other side. You won't be able to have these swings to go all 5 plus get the extra, but you could swing in some of your Digimon that are less impactful, like the Gladimon, just to get checks in, and then you can go even further wide and then swing in next turn, and that will prevent you from getting Nidhogged by going all in with swings. Mimi's gonna finally come out, so don't have to worry about any potential memory choking, although they have been getting a pretty good memory from the LordKnightmon player. Having the Mimi safety is good. It also helps with Lilamon and just the general game plan of the deck. So gonna swing with the Valderarm here. It is open, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Swinging in, Bushi is gonna go down to the Kabuterimon in the security, so still 2 checks that you could get, but still not enough to go for game. That Pulsemon on board was played this turn from the Angelomon, inheritable when swinging with the Valderarm, so as much as you can Digivolve on top of it, you can't swing with it, so you can't threaten game just yet, but can still very easily set up a board that would threaten game next turn. You aren't going to be able to get an extra Digimon on board with the Mimi. You can hatch, but nothing that can attack. You need the second Mimi, so as of right now, I don't think the green player has the ability to win the game this turn. They could Digivolve and swing in and then go Chaosmon and clear out all of the checks, but as far as getting that extra swing in, I don't think it's going to be able to happen this turn, so the green player is going to have to find a way to make it to next turn without dying, while also trying to come up with some sort of multi-turn game plan to win the game. With 4 checks on your opponent's side of the field, with a couple of them being very high in DP, is going to make this a little bit more difficult. If they were suspended, obviously you would just be able to do something like Nidhogg, but we're going to see the Nidhogg, which is just going to put the Valderarm at the bottom of the deck, and we're still going to have 4 checks going into 2 security, so as long as you don't hit a Flower Cannon on that first swing, you would be able to swing in because the Flower Cannon would not suspend the Pitomon blocker. So able to get that. It's tying up the series 1-1. So let's go ahead and see who's going to take this game 3 and get their invite to US Nationals, which is something both these players have been fighting very hard for over a month now. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into game 3. We're going to see both players just Digivolving into the Raising. Getting a Lilamon here, so first to get the ultimate, going to promote the Turimon, so must have a decent amount of rookies in hand, because if you're going to promote there, I think that means you're going to want to cycle the rookies that you have in hand going into LordKnightmon, so going to at least have some sort of pressure going into this turn, and we see actually nothing come out from the green player as far as to stop this LordKnightmon. We do get the Mimi, which will put on a lot of pressure in the future, but if they decided they could have swung, got a check, and played something off the LordKnightmon, but going to actually just keep it there and play this Pulsemon out, so going wide on the board, gonna build up the LordKnightmon's DP, which is good for swinging in. As we saw game 1, we saw the LordKnightmon swing in and just die to that Nidhogg, so being able to go a little bit bigger is going to be a little bit safer for the security checks, but we're going to see the Rafflesimon go ahead and stop the LordKnight from attacking for 1 turn, while also gaining a little bit of DP from that Yokomon, and the Vegimon's going to go ahead, come out, put Just Digi at 1 memory here. Going in for a check with the Pulsemon, so we see the Argomon going out, which is limited to 1, so that's not something that we have to worry about. That incredibly strong inheritable is something that could really change the pace of this match, because it was like having an Angelomon, which would keep up with the LordKnightmon spread, but we see the Valderarm come out, no more LordKnightmon, but also no more Rafflesimon, so gonna have the Valderarm out, looking in an incredibly strong spot. As long as you respect the green Megas, you will probably stay in a good spot. Gonna Digivolve into Lilamon here, which allows for Hatch, and then you can get something on top of there, which will give you a lot more aggression by slowly getting these rookies out better, or faster. We're going to see the Terriermon go on top of there. Are they going to choose to value the Terriermon's ability or going tall? We're going to see that they value going tall. So going to another ultimate here with the Cherrymon, putting the opponent at minimal memory, but not putting them at least 3 or higher is extremely important, because without the Blinding Ray, you're not going to be able to really develop anything too influential. You have the Terriermon on board, which can go into an ultimate. But the Lilamon does pressure any ultimate coming out, because it can Digiburst to suspend the ultimate and gain DP with the Yokomon, which would allow it to swing over most. We are going to see the Blinding Ray come out, playing the Cutemon, which will shut down both Digisorption and HPD, and swinging in with the Terriermon, which hits Lalamon, so it's going to survive. Like I said, even if you Digivolved into an ultimate, the Lilamon would likely be able to take care of it, so having the Turymon suspended is a little bit of a bait for your opponent to suspend one of their Digimon to attack into one of your Digimon, which would allow you to clear theirs with the Valdararm, because the Valdararm is just extremely powerful with the crazy high DP it has. It can even swing over Nidhogg and can trade into the Chaosmon, so unless you have DP boosts on your turn, this Valdararm will be able to swing over nearly everything. But ending off the turn with a Spiral Masquerade there to kill off the Lilamon. That is a Digimon that is just so scary that I do respect trying to get rid of it, but we are going to see the Rafflesimon come out, being able to now hatch and then get another Digimon in the raising, but the Rafflesimon will be able to Digiburst to shut down the Valdararm and can also swing over the Turymon, getting as much pressure off of the opponent's board as possible. So we're going to see exactly that. So the pressure of the Valdararm is pretty much shut down because the Rafflesimon can very safely stay suspended, and then the Vegemon can come out just putting the opponent at 3, but at this point it's not enough memory. Even the Blinding Ray may not be enough to really get what you need done, because you need to be able to Digivolve for 1 and then be able to Digivolve for 3 just to get up into an ultimate, and unless you're playing Sirenmon in this list, then everything that's an ultimate is going to cost at least 3 to Digivolve, so can't really get up to a Mega to potentially do something like Slash and clear off the Vegemon. You're going to see the Kodamon come out, grabs the Knightmon, so gets at least 1 card off of there. The rest going to the bottom, but nothing in there that's really as influential as you need. You really were looking for things like LordKnightmon there. Now, from the Lord Knight side, you do want to slow down some of the aggression. Going to play Starmons, giving minus 4k, but not enough to actually really delete anything, just going wide on board. This allows you to have as many swings as you really need going into next turn. You need at least 3 to try and clear game. Rafflesimon's going to be able to shut down the Valdararm once again, so as long as your opponent doesn't do anything extremely scary like go into Nidhogg here, then you're probably sitting decent, but the green player is also in a pretty safe position. It's really hard to say who's ahead here because the Rafflesimon shutting down the Valdararm multiple turns in a row is really changing the momentum shift here. The Valdararm was helping out, but now that it's not able to attack and clear over this Rafflesimon, it's not really doing too much. There's one of the LordKnightmons in security. Gonna suspend Mimi to promote the Kabuterimon, which is another blocker, so sitting really good here. Lilamon gonna come out once again, a card that we've seen so many times so far, and then going into Nidhogg, so there's the Nidhogg. And that has to be absolute #1 worst case scenario for the Lord Knight player, because you can't attack with the Valdararm, which means that you aren't going to be able to swing over this Rafflesimon, and you only have 1 security to your opponent's 2 attacks. So unless you pull something out right now, then this may just be game. The Lord Knight player was looking so far ahead this whole time, up until now, not looking too great. I didn't see what card they got off of TK there. I just saw the corner, so I know that they did reveal it to their opponent, so it was a yellow card. I just didn't see fully what that was, but gonna swing with the Rafflesimon now. Going to Digivolve, promote, swing with the Nidhogg block, and then the Tentomon would be able to swing, and that is going to be it. So congrats to Team Scrub-Out on getting their US Nationals invite. Be sure to check out both these players' channels. On the left, Team Scrub-Out, and on the right, DigiTCG. Once again, I will have both those links in the description, so please go support these players. But with that being said, that is it for today's video. I hope you have a great day, and peace out.